It was great to see already some interest in the food business, which is what we're going to be talking about today. So, with Prodeen, we have now we've gone from idea to being officially venture-backed as of last week. We're working with our first investor. And what we do as a company is we work with many of the brands that you know and love, like Ricola, the lozenges you use when you have a sore throat, or AB InBev, the beers that you hopefully don't drink too many of on a given evening. And the team behind this is myself, Nicola, and Jakob. And I want to spend a few minutes on the team because it is really important. The three of us have been working together for many years. We were at SGS, which is a Swiss-based testing, inspection, and certification company, or a TIC as it's called. And we were responsible for a business line handling regulatory data and software systems. Nicola was the founder of that. It was then acquired by SGS. I was the first commercial hire. Jakob was the first technical hire. And we left because we really became excited about the changes that were happening in the industry, and we thought that we could solve them better outside of the confines of a company that was very much a service-led company, which will lead also to some of our further discussion here. So when we talk about the food, beverage, and consumer packaged good industry as a whole, what's it about? There's really two main elements that go into product development. There are all the steps that start from ideation to bringing the product to market. That's your new product development aspect. And then there's the ongoing, we call it product stewardship. Once a product is on the shelf, how do you keep it there and ensure that it's safe and ensure that it's compliant? And the reality of it is that both of these streams have serious issues. The majority of new products continue to fail even within the first year of launch. And recalls continue to increase even though there's an enormous amount of money that goes into monitoring this type of information. But what does this really mean in practice? So let's take an example. This is something that each of us has probably read thousands of times. It's called the Nutrition Facts Panel. Now, what is behind this? Well, first of all, it's very important to note that this is a legal binding piece of information. If you have information on here that is incorrect, you risk serious violations. But more than that, there is a slew of consultants that are required to help you with all of the nutrition calculations. There are databases that you have to reference and look up to find various measurements that then go into the ingredient composition. And so there's a variety of tools and consultants, and what ends up happening is it becomes incredibly difficult to actually innovate while ensuring that these type of nutrition facts panels stay compliant. So in this case, what if you want to reformulate your product and you want to make a low-fat claim on it? What goes on then? Well, this is actually a very challenging thing because when you have to then do the reformulation, it's going to change a variety of the information on the nutrition facts panel. How do you model that? This is a process that can take, and we know this from our clients, weeks, months of effort, and maybe they don't even get to that stage because they don't even want to bother having to deal with the consultant to have them do a mock-up of what the nutrition facts panel will look like. And so making these type of adjustments, doing this type of innovation continually proves to be a very challenging task. So how do we go to market with what we're doing? We do this because we're right now targeting very large companies. We do it by what we call the land with the outsource and expand to the insource. What we see, having also worked years in a service business, is that their companies spend an enormous amount of money just on the consulting services alone. And so we can go into these regulatory departments in these consumer packaged good companies as a consultant, essentially. We can bring in Prodeen as a tool that they can begin working with. And we can do that, which allows us to come in early, begin to work with them, show value, and then expand into the R&D teams or broaden the workflows that we're providing to them. So what is the market opportunity? We remain incredibly excited about it. So the TIC industry, testing, inspection, certification, as I mentioned, this alone is comprised of a variety of companies that make over $200 billion amongst them in revenue, providing a lot of what we call desk services. And so just within the food and beverage and adjacent sectors like pet food, dietary supplements, agriculture, there are $10 to $12 billion of revenue that these companies generate, providing not even the lab testing, but just regulatory related consulting. And so for us, what we can do is, as said, we can capture that spend and we can offer something that is unique. And it's unique because we can provide the outcomes that consultants provide, but we're able to scale and go into markets where consultants cannot reach. A big limitation that we see across the board is that a consultant can have deep knowledge in a particular country like the US, but as soon as you want to bring your product to a market like Canada, they're limited out. So what we do is we provide similar consulting level outcomes with the scaling capabilities of software. So to end, I went into Prodeen and I created my own personal nutrition facts panel of myself. And so the offer here to all of you is, I think with Prodeen and where we're at, I think we had a head start with a lot of the peers that we were working with. We've been incorporated now and live as a company for 1 year. We ran a beta program over the summer of last year into early fall. We started bringing on customers at the end of 2025. And over the last 2 months, we've been heavily involved in fundraising. So I would just like to put out there, I'm more than willing to share what I know, maybe because we have a little bit of this head start. Think of me as like a time machine, like 6 months maybe in the future where some of you are. And so anything I can do to help with regard to the experience of having gone through the fundraising, having ran a beta program, and having gone through all of the bureaucratic steps, and no offense to the city of Renton, but there's a lot that even goes into just getting a business license in Washington State and all of these type of activities. I'm happy to share what I know. So thank you very much.